say boys don't cry. I'm not sure I believe them though, because every boy I've ever known has buckets full of tears that he somehow just learned how to hide. Every boy I've ever known has more than enough reasons to cry, and so whenever I hear that line, boys don't cry, I pause and I let my heart twist into knots to keep it from breaking, because I know, just like y'all know, that boys who grow into men with sorrow buried deep within their chest, they don't smile half as bright as they could. They don't love or accept hugs as often as they could, and shit, sometimes I come across boys who have somehow found themselves within the body of a man without anyone ever teaching him how to become one. And I hesitate to blame these men for their confusion, because how do we expect seeds to sprout without the warmth of the earth? How do we expect strong foundations to be built without anyone around who's willing to put in the hard work? And how do we expect boys not to cry without ever stopping for a moment to ask ourselves why not? Tell me, what is it that makes the cry of a man so weak, so dangerous, so often unseen? Tell me, what is it that makes us fear? Yeah. Tell me, what is it? Hold on, I got this. You got me. Yeah. Tell me, why is the cry of a man so weak, so dangerous, so often unseen? Tell me, what is it that makes us fear the things that men feel? And listen, I get it. This is all a deeply rooted issue, and men are traditionally considered our protectors, and they're meant to lead us fearlessly. But if one of y'all, if any of y'all, could please explain to me how a man is ever going to provide for somebody when he barely has enough room to breathe, when every crevice in his body is overflowing with unexpressed feelings and silenced dreams? Tell me, you really think boys don't cry? What about all the times he did? All the times you made him choke back his sadness, his excitement, all the times he was left alone, was frightened? What about then? And what is it about his emotions and their existence that makes you so angry? Why is it that every time it's his turn to cry, you have to turn a blind eye, but still expect him to be there right by your side through all of your dark times? It makes no sense. And again, I hesitate to blame these boys morphed into withdrawn men, but that does not mean I excuse them. Because I have witnessed these same men pull themselves up out of ditches of anger and trenches of grief. I've seen them channel decades of neglect into enormous sighs of relief, all because they finally came across someone who simply let them speak. You know, they say boys don't cry. They say boys don't cry. In some cases, I guess that's true. But I promise you that boys are crying in ways that aren't always visible to me and you. They cry in balled fists and unmet gazes and, I'm good, how are you? And it's really not that deep. They cry in 400-pound deadlifts and working themselves to the bone and hyperfixations and DMing hundreds of different girls. They cry in fancy vacations and $1,000 sneakers. They sob in silence. They bawl in bitterness. I promise y'all, boys are crying all around you. And it's really not that hard to see. It's just that their tears blend in with their every movement, and the sadness in their voices is beginning to sound a lot more like frustration. But I promise you, if you look closely enough, you'll see that the boys around you, they are crying constantly. Peace.